let's do a very quick, very general crash course on accessing our college's online library databases. This is going to be very fast and very loose. For more specific, focused research help, please go to our recent announcements and contact one of our embedded expert librarians. They can definitely drill down on the specifics of your topic and get you into databases that are more geared toward exactly what you're doing. This is just a very general reintroduction for anybody who maybe hasn't taken ENG 111 in a while. So you're in our Canvas course. You want to look over to the left and click on Library Services. We are doing a research paper, so hover over Research, and if you need a little more help, but you don't want to reach out with a librarian or you don't have the time to coordinate your schedule with a librarian, you could come over to Research at Reynolds, and if you work through all of this stuff, you'll pretty much be caught up to where you need to be pretty quickly. You could also look in our Week 7 module that's full of resources along with those graded self-assessments that are all research related. But for this video, we are just doing the fast, like just get you in there and get you moving tutorial. So all of your research has to come from our databases, so just click Databases. At this point, if you run into any login issues, please don't reach out to me. I'm not an IT guy. I wouldn't know what to do. I'm an English teacher. So if you're having trouble logging in, reach out to the help desk or to one of the librarians to get that sorted out. You want to get on your research early enough that if you do run into that roadblock, you can solve it fast enough to get your work in on time. Putting it off to the last minute and then tell me, oh, I couldn't get in. Well, I go, well, you should have planned better. I put it in my video reminding you to reach out to the help desk. So there are 150 databases. Some of them will work. Some of them won't. Some of them will be broad. Some of them will be specific. An expert librarian can guide you on all of that. Let me just get you started with one that works for a lot of research papers. We click on the letter A. And one way to recognize broad, usable databases, pretty user-friendly databases, is you click on any letter and scroll down, and if you see featured next to it, chances are it's a pretty accessible database for most research topics. And Academic Search Complete certainly is one of those types of databases. So this is a great starting point for an ENG 112 research paper. So we'll go ahead and click that and open it up. And we just do the Access Database button here. And I've already done that, and it's loaded. Now, what makes a database different from a Google search is if you type in something into Google, you get 4 billion hits, and most of them will just be posted by randos on the web with no credibility. You can't trust them as far as you can throw them. The stuff that makes it into the databases for college consumption has been vetted, and it's been narrowed down, and it has to be somewhat grounded in truth. So let's do a search for one of the most widely researched topics out there, climate change. And let's see how many hits we get. I always tell students when you're starting the research process, check the full text box. That way you don't get partial hits. I'm not worried about the date range here. Some teachers make a big thing about that. I'm not too worried about it. And I tell students, begin with a title search. And if you don't find what you're looking for, you can kind of branch outwards. And if you're still not finding what you're looking for, that's when it's time to reach out to an expert librarian, go through the materials in the Week 7 module, take the initiative, got to do a little more in-depth work on your database skills. For a basic search though, do title, full text, type in your topic or some variation of it, and hit search. And if you did this on Google, you'd probably get 4 billion hits. You do it here in Academic Search Complete, and you get 20,000 hits. And I'd say probably 99% of these things will be appropriate for a college level research paper. Now, will it be applicable to your paper specifically? Maybe not. And that doesn't mean that the research you need isn't out there. It just means you don't quite have the skills to find it yet. And that's where our expert librarians can come in. They'd be more than happy to work with you one-on-one and help you refine your database and research skills so that you can get your hands on the research in our databases that you need instead of throwing your hands up in the air and going, it's not out there. It's out there. You just have to learn how to find it. And it's going to take a little while to get those skills. So that's a basic crash course, very fast introduction to how to get into the databases. And from here, with a little bit of intuition, you can probably start poking around and pick out some of your favorite databases and even start forming some good research habits. And for a little more in-depth help, please go into our course and access our embedded expert librarian for a more guided tutorial on how to do this.